This is nice, isn't it? On the sofa, different piece of content, more chilled. Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. And I want to talk about a football match, Chelsea versus Liverpool, at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. Our curtain raiser for the Premier League season. Exciting! At time of recording, I don't know what's happening with the Moises Caicedo saga. I recently uploaded a video referencing the fact how he's apparently said to Liverpool that he only wants to join Chelsea. So, there's a chance he could sign in the next hours, day or so, and be unveiled at Stamford Bridge in our game versus Liverpool. But, you know, the season is starting. I cover the football here on Football Therapy. And I figured, if people like this kind of content, I could start a new series. Where it's out of the office, in the living room, on the sofa. Got the Chelsea blue guitar next to me. In fact, I can actually just show you more. Got the piano, more guitars. Ordered another guitar coming, so there's space on the wall, hopefully. So yeah, anyway, Pochettino's competitive debut for Chelsea. Almost certain they're going to play a 4-2-3-1. Jurgen Klopp will play a 4-3-3 formation. Of course, they've signed Mac Allister, that geezer from Red Bull. Yeah, pronunciation on point. And, they remain to have good forwards. Cody Gakpo, as the Scousers say. That was a good Scouse accent. Sure, I offended no one with that. Darwin Núñez is a good player, despite all the memes and banter. Salah, still one of the top boys in the Premier League. And they got good players. Trent inverting into midfield. Is he going to just become a midfielder and start in the midfield? Probably not if they're looking at Moises Caicedo. They've probably got that industrial midfield three that they've always used. Of course, they used to use Wijnaldum, Jordan Henderson, Milner, Fabinho, whatever. More industrial, hard-working to allow the flanks to do the offensive work, and the flanks being both the wide men and the fullbacks. We've spoken about this before over the years on the channel with Liverpool. Now, it's not just the midfield three that allow the sides to do all the good stuff, but also Bobby Firmino was the sort of quintessential false nine, wasn't he? Very technical, good at combining the wide forwards in, but also hard-working, pressing from the front, all that kind of stuff. They don't really have that false nine now, do they? They sort of have to be more offensive. But to get the best out of Trent, he's moved him into midfield, but he sort of inverts from that position, and I guess a midfielder will cover. So I think he'll still start at right back. Of course, they've got good players, haven't they? Good defenders. They've still got Alisson in goal. And it will be a hard, high-octane press, heavy metal football, vintage Jurgen Klopp Liverpool football at Stamford Bridge. Moises Caicedo, whichever team he goes to, he's not going to be in either starting lineup. So that's easy. Chelsea will play a 4-2-3-1. So how are we going to set up against Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool? Well, Pochettino has spoken in his pre-match press conference. He didn't give much away about the game itself, other than they've moved the dugout to the other side, the home dugout. That was his decision. He did speak on Robert Sanchez, kind of inferring that yes, there's a chance for him to become number one. But it was kind of like the Mendy-Kepa narrative for a while, like going at each other, like, yeah, we'll see who does better, which I'm not sure how healthy that is. Of course, there is still the lingering spectre of Kepa Arrizabalaga to Bayern Munich. Looks like they're just finalising the deal for Harry Kane, which is a really exciting move, actually. Great move for both the player and every single person. Just on a fleeting tangent, Kane gets to go and win trophies. He gets to go and play for one of the Europeans' elite clubs and challenge for the Champions League. Basically play for a winner rather than, no offence to Spurs fans, losers. Of course, Bayern will be paying a lot of money, but their team is just perfectly set up and just missing that one Galactico striker. He is the perfect player for them, Harry Kane, Bayern, and he makes them so much stronger contenders for the Champions League. Kane will know that. Bayern and Tuchel will know that. And Levy gets 100 million and doesn't have to see his player walk away for free to a Premier League rival. Just a sensational transfer that suits all parties, which is rare. Anyway, back to Chelsea. Yes, how are we going to set up 4-2-3-1 against Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool at Stamford Bridge? Kepa will start in goal, despite Robert Sanchez maybe eventually being the number one. We gave him a 7-year deal, Sanchez, and there is just speculation and talk. And of course, we've got Roberts, the goalkeeping coach, who's come from Brighton, who is a huge fan of our new goalkeeper, Rob Sanchez. And apparently he cried when that goalkeeping coach left and stuff. So yeah, so there is a long-term plan, I guess, to make him number one potentially. For if what a friggin'... I mean, we could say the same for Mendy. We didn't pay much for Mendy, but if our number one long-term is 20 million after Kepa's 71 million, that goes against the narrative of inflation massively. So Kepa in goal. The fullbacks will pick themselves, of course. You'll have captain and vice-captain, respectively, in Reece James and Ben Chilwell on their own flanks. The two starting centre-backs, I think, will be Levi Colwill on the left-hand side. And I think it's too soon for Disasi. Who knows? But I think it will be Thiago Silva. Of course, Levi's had some glowing words for Thiago Silva recently. He's been quoted speaking about him. And I think it'll be... I just think while he's fit and while, obviously Fofana is out, I'd be surprised to see Chalobah starting, although, who knows? I think it would just be Thiago Silva on the right, Levi Colwill on the left, but we'll see. I am not entirely sure of that. I think Pochettino, of course, he has such a high-octane style of playing, is a 38-year-old going to offer what you need, especially, Thomas Tuchel had to decided to play Thiago Silva in the back three to utilise him, but also cover for him. And that was like 3 years ago now, or two and a half, but how many years, however long ago. So Pochettino's high pressing running game, can he get that from Silva? So maybe he gets it from a few games and then brings in Disasi or even Chalobah. We'll see what happens there. Remember, we do have 5 substitutions, and there's a chance we'll just bring on a younger, let Thiago Silva see out the first 60 minutes, calm head, professional, and then maybe bring on a Trev Chalobah or something like that to get the legs on towards the end. The double pivot's a really, really tough one, of course. I would like to say, of course, Enzo Fernandez is going to start. I would like to say Andre Santos, but I think that's just too much of a baptism of fire for the young Brazilian teenager to start in a double pivot at Stamford Bridge against Liverpool in the opener for his first competitive game in Europe, not just Chelsea. So that's pretty incredible. So I think... obviously I said this before, I did this in the pre-season prediction, that Reece James could play in midfield and Malo Gusto can play at right back, because of Gusto has looked, not much short of fantastic in his, minutes that he's played at right back. I think he will be a regular substitute as well, just to protect James more than anything else, because now he's the captain, you want to make sure he's not out injured for like weeks and weeks and weeks. So, you play Reece, if you look good, you bring him off, you look bad, you bring him off. You just wrap him in cotton wool. Obviously, the way we play now under Pochettino, Reece James actually plays much deeper than Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell himself, in that interview he did in America, explained how he's the highest on the line, in possession. He's ahead of the strikers. He's great at getting in the box and scoring, which kind of means Reece James is further back and he's played right centre back in the back three many times for Chelsea. Reece James to great effect, and that's kind of what he'll sort of do in this scenario as well, like tuck in a little bit when Ben Chilwell's flying forwards like that. So to go back to the midfield pivot, I think probably partnering Enzo, and it's not ideal and it's not defensive really, will be Conor Gallagher. Now Conor Gallagher probably sees himself as maybe nearly a number 10, so to play him as a defensive 6 is far from what he probably recognises himself as. But the alternatives are Andre Santos. Like I said, I think he will be a good profile for that, but I wonder if it's too early. Who else? Chalobah's played CDM. He's a conventional stopper, but we saw none of that in pre-season, so I doubt Pochettino is just going to throw that in now. So I think it will be Gallagher. And in terms of the three behind the striker, of course, Nkunku is now out for months. So what are the options to play in the number 10? Well, Carney Chukwuemeka, who looks like he's got a good grasp of what that role entails. He's very direct, likes to go to goal. Carney Chukwuemeka, the aforementioned Gallagher. Should Santos start in the pivot, you could say start Gallagher there. I think Gallagher will be further back. Chukwuemeka, possibly Maatsen. Maatsen did spend some time in pre-season playing there, although I think maybe he's a little bit better coming from a wide position. But Maatsen has shown he can combine really well with both Nico Jackson and Mykhailo Mudryk. Noni Madueke is training again. I think we'll see Mudryk on the left. I think we will see him starting. He's probably ready to start. Despite really poor pre-season form, I think we will look to the seniority and experience, and hopefully it pays off because he's kind of on thin ice. Raheem Sterling playing on the less favoured right-hand side, right wing, but he has played there a lot, of course, throughout his career. Liverpool is his former club. He always liked playing against them when he played for Man City. Maybe he will feel the same here for Chelsea. Chelsea's new number 7, of course. Mudryk, lest we forget, the new number 10. Big iconic numbers. So Raz on the right, Misha on the left, maybe Maatsen in the middle. I would quite like to see Maatsen starting. Of course, it could be Maatsen on the right, Chukwuemeka in the 10, and behind the undisputable striker at the moment, which is Nico Jackson, especially because Nkunku's out. Really, if Nkunku was in, you could have made an argument for Nkunku starting in the striker and then, playing someone else like Chukwuemeka in the 10 to be a bit more defensive. But I think it's definitely going to be Nico Jackson. Of course, Nico Jackson's shown that he can combine both well with Maatsen and Misha Mudryk, so that's really good. And he can score goals and he consists and he can work hard. And he just looks good to go, doesn't he, Nico Jackson? Like, out the box, he looks good to go. Yeah, man, pretty exciting. So I'm going to do a score prediction. Oh, man. So tough. We've had a really good pre-season, but Liverpool just know what they're doing. Klopp has been there for 7 years. Pochettino, referenced that again in his pre-match press conference. Like, come on, this guy's been here for a long time. I've just got here. The favourites will be Liverpool. It should be. It's going to be a really tough game. We have conceded goals. I feel like this is going to be. Fortunately, I think we're going to play Premier League experience in Thiago Silva, Chile, James, and even Levi. Levi's got decent Premier League experience now as well from Brighton. So with the pivot of Gallagher and Enzo working hard, like Pochettino working hard, I don't think we're necessarily going to get thumped or anything unless we do a bit of a collapse, which as a Chelsea fan, I've just always got this innate fear that we've got that in us. Do you know what I mean? That we can just flop basically or freak out. But hopefully not. Hopefully the never say die, attitude is there. We've got enough young, bright, optimistic players on the bench to come on and believe and express themselves. And I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to predict a win here at home, which would be an excellent start for Chelsea. I don't think it's going to be, obviously I'd love for us to, thump Liverpool, bring Caicedo out at half-time and, unveil them to the crowd, all that kind of stuff, proper rub salt in the wound to Liverpool, all that stuff, all that lovely stuff I'd really enjoy. But I'm going to go for a little bit more of a conservative, yet hopeful 2-1 win to Chelsea. I don't know who would score, Salah scoring a goal for Liverpool, maybe a penalty or something. And remember, there's going to be, incredible amounts of stoppage time in this campaign that has been already in the Championship, like literally 8 to 10 minutes per game, which is from the rule changes, which is going to be emotionally exhausting or hopeful as well. It's just going to create narrative. We'll see whether we like it or not. So let's just say goal for Liverpool, maybe someone like Salah, and a Nico Jackson goal. I've got him in my fantasy Premier League team. which I'm very pleased about. 7 million, bargain, considering he's Chelsea's starting striker and we've got no Europe. Like, no one's picking him in like FPL, blogs or whatever. But 1 game a week, currently a Chelsea starting striker, £7 million, hot in pre-season. I don't know, maybe I'm still picking with my heart there. So a Nico Jackson goal, and I think like an Ian Maatsen goal as well. Lovely. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you like this informal type of content sitting on the sofa. Please do drop a like and subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Peace.